So as you can see, Breya Etherium Shaper isn't doing great currently. She's in the spot of not recommended commander for tournaments position basically. But the color combination sans green, blue, black, red, white is actually doing amazing. So it has to be something with the commander that's wrong. Now sans green have Tymna Krom that is actually doing great and one of the most recommended commanders basically. Now Breya is something more of a combo in the command zone, while Tymna Krom is card draw from the command zone. So is the verdict that Breya is weak only because she doesn't have a card draw capacity on her? Maybe. But there is another sans green commander pair we should take a look at that is actually quite strong as well. Will the Wise and Lucas the Sharpshooter creates a sans green color identity and a pretty amazing win rate that is, by the way, better than Blue Farm. And as you can see, they have 120 tournament entries while Breya has 111. So they are more similar to the count, which makes them easier to compare. Now, as you can see, Breya has a very bad win rate, but Will and Lucas have a pretty amazing win rate. And in this video, we're going to try and answer why. So I calculate statistics on individual cards as well, and I think this is gonna be a pretty amazing showcase of why Breya is struggling. Let me ask you this, is a zero costing artifact that taps for one color good? The answer is pretty much yes, you wanna have that inside your deck list. But as you can see here, Breya doesn't really play that much Mox Amber because it's kinda hard to actually cast your Breya. She's 4 CMC, while Will, or Lucas for that matter too, is just 2. And if you look at the pie chart, the circle diagram, you can see how many Lucas is playing Mox Amber and how many Breya is playing Mox Amber, and you can see the effect on the win rate from that as well. The decks that have been playing Mox Amber inside Breya have been struggling even more, so the recommendation is to not play Mox Amber inside Breya, while you should play it inside Will. But the pattern just keeps on getting more clear. For example, Deflecting SWAT, amazing card, we all know it's great, you wanna be able to cast that spell without paying mana for it whatsoever, but as you can see, it is not auto-included inside Breya, and also it's not entirely recommended inside Breya either, because once again, Breya is a 4 CMC commander, by the way, on 4 different colors. You can't just go Dark Ritual land and boom, here she in play turn 2. No, you have to have like 4 different colors of pips to make it come into play. And if you keep going, you have Fierce Guardianship, the same thing. It's really hard, or let's just say, it is probably okay to maybe have Fierce Guardianship inside the deck list, but as you can see, it is not an auto-included choice. The same thing with Deadly Rollick. Now with Will, you're gonna have him to play like turn 2, which means you're gonna be able to cast your Deadly Rollick from your hand easily on turn 2. Sometimes even turn 1, but usually turn 2. But in Breya's case, you're gonna be able to do it something like turn 3 or turn 4, or who knows, like 4 mana is a big investment on a turn 3, turn 4 for just a 4/4 creature that produces 2 tokens. Speaking of those tokens, there's another card, Braid's Arisen Nightmare. Well, you can sacrifice those tokens into Braids. Instead of paying the 2 mana to sacrifice your clues, you can sacrifice them immediately to start ticking with Braids. And in Breya's case, that is a little bit more tricky. We should also mention Transmute Artifact. Now you wanna use this early in the game to find something like your One Ring or who knows. In Will the Wise case, you're getting a lot of different artifacts that you can sacrifice, the clues, to find your, or to use your Transmute artifact instead of sacrificing your Soul Ring. You don't want to do that. But in Breya's case, Breya comes down later, so you can't really utilize the Transmute artifact in the same way that Will can do. Which takes us to Oswald Fiddlebender. Now, it's not heavily played inside Will the Wise at all, it's quite few that have actually played it, but as you can see, it's something that you probably shouldn't play inside Breya at all, because you're not gonna have access to your Topters that fast, but in Will's case, you're gonna have access to your clues quite fast. But there are more stuff to look at. So both Will the Wise and Breya will win from Infinite Mana and Infinite Flicker. Great! Cloudstone Curio is great. This is, by the way, something you can tutor for with that Transmute artifact that is good inside Will, bad inside Breya. Now with Dockside Extortionist and another creature, you go Infinite Treasures and you go Infinite Flickers, which means you can flicker that Breya infinitely and, yeah, kill all of your opponents. But there is a demand on the Cloudstone Courier. You need to have another creature, preferably really cheap to cast, that you can start looping with this. Now sure, you're gonna have other creatures inside your 99, but sans green, the color that is currently, aren't playing that many creatures in general. There's gonna be like Dockside, Esper Sentinel, Ragavan, and a few more, but the account is very low. This is where Will the Wise is really good once again, because it's only a 2 CMC creature, which means that if you generate 5 treasures from your dockside, you go infinite treasures. And there just is a risk that with your Breya, you will have Cloudstone Courier, you will have dockside, and you can't really afford Breya. Damn it. And same thing can be said with Baron Master Wizard. You can sacrifice your clues, you're gonna have access to your clues quite early in the game to fuel some activations into Baron if you need to, but he also works great with Dockside Extortionist, while in Breya's case, yeah, he's going to work perfect with your Dockside Extortionist, but he's not gonna work great when you don't cast Breya, and you will be casting Breya quite late. So the big difference between Lucas and Will versus Breya is that these guys comes into play quite early in the game. They are the commanders for only 2 CMC compared to a 4 CMC commander. That's a big difference. It just unlocks so many good cards inside the decklist. So you could say that Will is making your 99 so much better. While in Breya's case, she's not really improving the 99 one bit. We could of course also argue that they are not identical. Breya will be able to do some spot removal. On the other hand, Lucas with his slingshot will also be able to do some spot removal. Like you can kill an Orcish Bowmaster pretty easily with Lucas, you can kill an Esper Sentinel pretty easily with Lucas. So yeah, you have kinda a smaller spot removal on these guys. But also something Breya don't. These guys, they have a card draw effect on. No, not similar to Kram and Tymna. Kram and Tymna have a much better card drawing engine compared to these two, but still, you're generating a few clues that you can sacrifice to draw cards with your will. So yeah, you have some card draw effect. That is, by the way, group hug as well, so let's just say that it's mitigated. But there is a clear synergy, a pretty beautiful one. When you cast Will the Wise, everyone gets clues, yay, they can't sacrifice them, you go dockside, boom. That's really good for these two. So as a finalized verdict, yeah, she's not amazing. She's struggling in tournaments, she has some cool gimmicky tricks on her, like it's cool to create tokens and you can sit with your tokens and Gatling gun down your opponent's commanders and creatures, but it's a very expensive strategy to do that, so it's also not really recommended. It is something I've talked about in a lot of different videos, that sitting there and policing everyone by removing creatures here and there isn't really usually winning the match for you, because you are spending resources, you're tapping out mana and you're sacrificing tokens that could be used for different things. But still, I wanna highlight that you should always play what you enjoy and think is fun. If you really wanna play Breya, keep playing Breya. I'm not going to stop you, I'm just showing for you that the people that have been playing Breya haven't really gotten a good result from that from tournaments, and I've tried to showcase why that is a fact in this video. Regardless, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Take care guys, and I'll see you in the next one.